everybody. What a beautiful day to be out here. Oh my goodness. I would like to say we planned this, but nicer weather than we've had so far in 2023. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm Sabrina Landreth, the General Manager of the Park District, and it is just such a great occasion to be out here celebrating today. The Old Growth Forest Network helps connect people with nature by creating a national network of protected and publicly accessible mature forests like the one we are at today. We are so proud to join the network and look forward to working together to connect the public with the beautiful and brilliant California Coast Redwoods at Reinhardt Redwood Regional Park and share the importance of protecting them for future generations to enjoy. These living monuments, and they really are, must be protected and enjoyed responsibly so that future generations can learn about and experience their splendor. We will begin today with a land acknowledgement and recognition of the native tribes that preceded us on the land that we stand on today. We're within the Huchuan territory on the unceded lands of the Ohlone peoples, the managers and stewards of this land since time immemorial. We thank them for their strength and resilience in protecting this land as they remain intrinsically connected to. Please join me in recognizing and honoring this land and the Huchuan Ohlone people who are integral members of the Bay Area community as they continue their traditional cultural practices and thrive on the land they are so deeply connected to. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our board president, Dennis Waspy. President Waspy is serving in his 9th year as an elected director for the East Bay Regional Park District. As all of you probably know already, prior to joining the board, he worked at our park district in a variety of positions for 38 years. It has here the year that he began, and I'm not going to read that. You're welcome. President Waspy's award spans from Castro Valley all the way to Fremont. Please welcome President Dennis Waspy.
Okay, great. You've got notes. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for that wonderful introduction, Sabrina. You left out the best part of my career here at the Park District, my job here. After 38 years of working here, the best time I ever had was living in Redwood Park, right at the firehouse. Best 2 years of my life, I think. Anyway, once again, my name is Dennis Waspy. I represent Ward 3, and I have the great privilege to be the president of the board of directors this year. So we welcome you. Today we're celebrating the induction of Reinhardt Redwood Regional Park into the Old Growth Forest Network, which is a national network of protected old-growth native forests where people of all generations can experience native biodiversity and the beauty of nature. You know, Reinhardt Regional Redwoods, where we're here right now, is one of the Park District's oldest parks. It opened in 1938. It was part of the original plan promoted by prominent local visionaries who hired nationally known people. Frederick Law Olmsted Jr., who was key to the Park District's formation, as well as Ansel Hall of the National Park Service. It was a great combination of people who came together to create this incredible public lands that we have in the East Bay. Today, the forest's peaceful groves give little evidence of the park's bustling past. I hesitate to mention the bustling past, but you do know that we did have a redwood tree on this property up in Roberts Park, just a couple of miles up the road, that was 33.5 feet in diameter, and that was a coast redwood. The skinny, tall ones, it was 33.5 feet in diameter. But it was cut down in 1800 to build San Francisco. And again, once again, the chainsaws came back after the '06 earthquake in San Francisco. A second wave of deforestation took place. But under the Park District's protection for the last 85 years, we've been able to, nurture this second and third generation of redwoods. If you look around you, they're getting pretty big. Dee worked here for a long time, but I worked here in the 1970s, in the 70s, and they were small. They were all small. I remember, I think we planted a few of these with Cub Scout groups and things like that, and Girl Scout groups, and now they're coming. And every time I come back here, I like to think that possibly, if we're around in a couple thousand years, these could be the largest living things on Earth. And the East Bay Regional Parks District is going to do their best to do that and preserve that. In 2019, the Board of Directors voted unanimously to name this park in honor of Dr. Aurelia Henry Reinhardt. She was the president of Mills College. She was also one of the founding board members of the East Bay Regional Park District. And she started in 1934 and I think served 2 terms. So it's an honor to honor her name here. My job is also to acknowledge some people that are here. Okay, so this is the first time I've seen this. I want you to know that I consider everyone here a dignitary, and especially, I'd like to give a shout out to the Redwood Park staff, and I know somewhere along the line we're going to do this, because these are the folks that really make this thing work really well. But anyway, Dee Rosario is here today, one of our board members. Ellen Corbett, another one of our board of directors members, and also Colin Coffey. Thanks for being here, Colin. Les Hausworth is here from the foundation, the president of the Regional Parks Foundation, as well as John Martin, although I didn't see John. His name's on the list. I wish John was here.
Jeff Zimmerman is here from our board.
You're right. Jeff's number 3rd on the list. I was just going to get to him. Jeff Zimmerman's here from our Regional Parks Foundation board. Thank you all for being here. Boy, we're going down the list. And of course, I think you're going to introduce your people, right? Okay, great. Then we'll move right up on to that. Regional Park District staff, Susan Chu, our Assistant General Manager of Public Affairs, is here. And Lisa Gorgon, our AGM in charge of operations, is here. And I don't see Dr. Anna Alvarez, but I wish she were here. Anyway, we're through with that. Thanks for spending some time here in the Redwoods with us. This is a gorgeous day. It's a beautiful park, beautiful redwoods, and we're very happy you're here. So thank you very much.
All right, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce our board member, Dee Rosario. Oh, he's just surprised, I guess. Director Rosario is serving in his 7th year as an elected board director for the Park District. And also prior to joining the board, Director Rosario worked at the Park District for 37 years.
Oh my God.
I'm also not reading the year. Director Rosario's ward spans from Berkeley to Walnut Creek. Please join me in welcoming Park District Director Dee Rosario.
Hi, thank you. Yes, Dee Rosario. Thank you. Sometimes I forget who I am. But it's been such a pleasure to be here in recognition of the old growth and having this park part of the old growth network acknowledgement. Over the years that I've spent here, it's been a pleasure to watch this park become more representative of what an old growth forest is. And I mean, we're seeing pileated woodpeckers here, and just the regeneration of the redwoods. It's just amazing. And we, of course, our rainbow trout. Reinhardt Redwood Regional Park is the largest remaining natural grove of coastal redwoods in the East Bay. 1,833 acres with 700 acres of redwoods here. It doesn't include Joaquin Miller, which is also part of the same, that belongs to the city of Oakland, but that's also the same forest. But we don't include that in the original 700 acres. Dr. Aurelia Reinhardt the forest was originally named for her, but in the 1960s, her name fell off our maps. And then, as a park supervisor, I recognize that, and as a board member, I saw an opportunity to rectify that because all the other board members got parks named after them. And so that was one of my first things, was to acknowledge that she was probably one of the first elected women in California, and two, she was a major advocate and president of the board of directors. That was one of my proud moments for acknowledging redwoods. The park, of course, is also known for its evergreens, chaparral, and grasslands. The wildlife within the park includes rare species such as the golden eagle and Alameda whipsnake, and I've also mentioned the pileated woodpecker. We also have 38 miles of trails here, picnic sites, about 10 acres of picnic sites and meadows and children's play area that you saw there. And we also have a historic naming of the rainbow trout species here. We have a state memorial further back at the park entrance. Historically, rainbow trout used to come out of the estuary, come up San Leandro Creek, and spawn here. And right now they're captured. Their traditional access to the estuary has been cut off, and so their estuary is now Upper San Leandro Reservoir. So every season, whenever there's water, I keep looking, they'll come up here to spawn, and I've seen them up to at least 2 feet. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful ceremony to see, to watch the females come up. Their sides are all silver, and then you'll see that flash of silver as they dig out their reds with their tails, and then you'll see the horde, her entourage of males following behind, waiting to see who's going to fertilize those eggs. So it's fascinating to watch, and I'm glad it's still here. Aurelia, going back to Aurelia, she was invited to join the front lines of advocating for the regional parks and participated in some of the earliest meetings to promote the idea. She was an inspirational, eloquent speaker on the protection of forest. In fact, she, as president of Mills College, she advocated that every woman should walk a mile in the woods every day. So down here, the original grove that was named for Reinhardt is just a few steps away, and that was named in the 1940s, and now just recently back again in 2019. But now we've got the whole park named for her, which is great. And like I said, this is a special place for me. It's a place of spiritual healing, and not just for me, but for everyone that comes here. I know I took out a lot of public amenities, picnic tables that used to be in creeks and bridges, and really focused on bringing this park back to nature, and trails and hiking, and a place to really bathe in the forest. So thank you so much for being here and helping us celebrate.
Wonderful. Thank you, Director Rosario. And your fingerprints certainly are still all over this park, and we're really, really proud of it. Now it is my pleasure to go ahead and introduce the Old Growth Forest Network Southwest Regional Manager, Noelle Collins. Thank you again to the Old Growth Network for recognizing Reinhardt Redwood Regional Park and welcoming it into the National Network of Protected Old Growth Forests. Noelle Collins.
Hi, this is so exciting. I didn't test out the speaker before, so bear with me. I attended college nearby. I live in San Diego now, but I attended college just over the hill, and it was the best time of my life by far. And we would often come here to just talk about life and our professors and what we were learning in school and laugh, and it's amazing and has always had just a special place in my heart. The redwoods are the same now as they were then, but that's not long enough for them to become old growth. As you've heard, they're second and third generation, and one day they will become old because they are protected and they won't be logged, which is one of our goals at the Old Growth Forest Network. This park was nominated for inclusion in the network by Ruskin Hartley, who's the former executive director of Save the Redwoods League. It was a few years ago, but I just came on board about a year and a half ago, and so we've been working on this for a little while, and we're really proud to be adding Reinhardt Redwoods to the network. I'm thankful to visionaries like Dr. Reinhardt, who made it a priority to preserve special places like this. And though the definition of old growth is a working definition currently, this forest definitely qualifies for its old growth characteristics. The Old Growth Forest Network was founded more than 10 years ago. It was actually about 11, by Dr. Joan Maloof. She was a biology and environmental studies professor from Salisbury University in Maryland, and she's still on our board of directors. She is our founder and still working hard and championing the cause. She is also the author of 5 books. I don't think she's written any more in the last year, Susan, has she? I think it's still 5.
She's working on it.
And they're available if you're interested in learning more about old growth forests. This isn't a plug, it's just, she's a great resource, so it's there. She found, Dr. Maloof found that though there are a lot of organizations that are dedicated to protecting forests, there weren't any that were dedicated to protecting old growth and sharing the resource value that they offer. And so that has been her mission, is to get the word out about old growth forests, and she's doing an amazing job. We are approaching 200 dedicated forests across the U.S. In 32 states. In a couple weeks, we will be in 33 states when we dedicate a forest in the state of Texas, which is it's a very exciting time for us. And we are part of a growing group of supporters. So we have about 5,500 supporters currently, and you all are welcome and encouraged to join us. There is a little sign with a QR code on it that you can just snap and sign up, and you'll receive our newsletter. I do want to introduce you to a couple of our board members who are here today. Holiday Phelan Johnson is here in the front row, as well as Susan Ives. And as I mentioned, that Dr. Maloof is an avid supporter. Susan and Holiday are just incredible advocates for the Old Growth Forest Network and for forests like this one here. Our mission is to include a native forest in each county in the U.S. that can sustain one. So that's 2,370 counties and 58 in California. So we do have a big job ahead of us. Reinhardt Redwoods is now the 17th forest that we have dedicated in the state of California. So we have a little bit more to go, but we've done a good job. The criteria, if you're curious and if you are out hiking around and wondering what our criteria is for adding a forest to the network, it has to be old growth or very mature second growth. It has to have a publicly accessible trail, and it has to be protected from commercial logging. So those are our 3 requirements. So if you're out there, we're all listed on our website, oldgrowthforest.net. So you can reach out to any one of us. Hopefully it's me. I'm the Southwest Regional Manager, and we can communicate back and forth and see if it's worth dedicating if you come up with one. I would really love to thank your staff and board for your commitment to protecting Reinhardt Redwoods, and specifically Brenda Montano and Monaco for your hard work and dedication to making this happen today, and the team that you put together. This is just amazing that you put together such a great team to put this event together. Really, I am so grateful to both of you. And with that, we would like to present our sign and dedicate Reinhardt Redwoods Regional Park. It's Reinhardt Redwood Regional Park, right? Yeah, I keep adding an S on the end. With the sign, and take a few photos, and Reinhardt Redwood will be added to the Old Growth Forest Network.
Hey, board members, come on up.
Susan? Yes.
You're a board member.
You're not the photographer.